welcome to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all of the places you can find me should be linked in the description box just below this video. Welcome to a Yarn and Yarns extra video. So these are just short videos that I pop up in between my main episodes, and this one doesn't really have much to do with my knitting and crochet and spinning life. I'm chatting about starting to use my weekly journal. So a few of you said that you're interested in my sort of journals and planners, and this is something completely new to me, so I thought I'd pop this video up and let you know that I've started working in the MUJI planner that I purchased while I was in London. It occurred to me yesterday, it's Tuesday today as I'm filming this, it occurred to me that I could probably start thinking about using the journal, and when I grabbed it and picked it up, this week is actually the first sort of full week that's shown in the journal layout. So I have started. I'm not entirely sure where this will go and how long I will keep it up, but I thought I would share a few snippets of what I've been up to in the journal with you today. So first off, this is what the journal looks like. Underneath here is the sort of big creative journal that I've been working on that you may have seen me use in previous videos. So this is an A5 size journal, has this ready orange cover, and then inside there are pages which this page covers the whole year, then there's pages for each month, and then as you go through the journal there's a weekly page on one side, and then there's just a squared out page, blank page on the other side for notes, which is one of the things that really attracted me to this journal. So I picked up the journal and I've started decorating my first weekly spread. This is not going to be sort of all out creative like my big journal, but I thought it'd be fun to add some colour, add some stickers, just to make this a bit more fun for me really. So I'm using the first page obviously to keep track of things that are going on day by day, and then the blank page is kind of, I guess, a bit like a bullet journal where I'm keeping track of certain things, and I may just make general notes and stuff. I don't know how this will sort of morph and progress as we go along. This is a completely new thing for me, so I guess it will be a big learning curve, but I decided to stick with a colour theme, and I give thanks as always for my journal videos to the lovely Simone. I'll link her channel below. She has some lovely journaling videos and planner videos, and I take a lot of inspiration from her. So she often picks a colour theme, so I decided to start with orange because, hey, we all know orange is my favourite colour, and I've just washi taped the hell out of this page. And I've started to fill in a few different things, and we'll just see how it goes. I think I'm going to stick with the colour theme as we go on. This page has been a bit of a practice. I stuck on a bit of watercolour, which is something that I use a lot in my creative journal, but I can see flipping the page there's quite a lot of ghosting on the next page, so I'll probably steer away from doing too much watercolour in the weekly pages in future. The pages are quite thin, but what I am thinking is lots of washi tape, lots of stickers, as I say, probably sticking to a colour theme or maybe an overarching theme of some kind. I don't know, trees, animals, winter, that's the sort of thing I'm thinking. I also am thinking, because the watercolour doesn't work and I do like the idea of adding colour, I've also pulled out a few bits of papers and stuff that I have in my stash. I used to do a lot of card making, so I've got sort of paper pads like this, and I also have some pullouts from magazines. I'm not entirely sure where these came from actually, but some of these are quite nice. I've got all sorts going on here, and I've got a big box of this stuff in one of the cupboards here in the craft room, so in the future I'll probably go through that box and see what I think I can use. But my thoughts, I really like the graph paper as a background, but my thoughts are for these papers I could maybe, you know, put strips of them around the blank page just to kind of decorate and fill up any spaces that I have. There might be the odd occasion where I cover the whole squared page, but it depends if I've got stuff to track, because I like the squared off boxes for tracking. So I don't know how well you will see this. Let me try and actually, I think I'll flip you round and zoom you in. So this week there are a couple of things that I want to keep track of. There's a couple more to fill in, but I haven't had the time to do that yet. I'm going to sit down and do that once we have chatted. I really want to work on my garter blanket this week, and I had a play with writing in watercolours. I was going to go over that to make it stand out a bit more, but I did the G and I didn't really like it, so I stopped that. But basically my garter blanket is going to be a gift hopefully for my in-laws for Christmas. So I've decided to do a little tally chart here of how many squares I've sewn together. There are 25 altogether, so you can see I've done 5. I'll colour those in as I go, and then there'll be 5 rows to join and 4 borders to knit. So I'm hoping to keep track of that this week. And then down here I also want to spin at least 10 grams of fibre a day on the sweater spin that I'm doing. So as you can see, I managed to do 20 yesterday. It was my day off yesterday, so I have a bit more time. I also want to keep track, I haven't done it yet, of whether I'm eating gluten-free. I've been trying a gluten-free diet for the last couple of months, and it's really helping my general sort of well-being and health. So I think I may be slightly intolerant to wheat, not allergic but intolerant. But I do feel like it takes a little bit of extra planning, and there are some days where gluten creeps into the things that I'm eating just for sake of convenience and lack of preparation. And I think it's happening more and more often than I am really sort of thinking about. So I'm going to really try and concentrate that. So I want to add sort of like a gluten-free tracker week by week to be a bit more prepared and not just to rely on convenience snacks and you know, just think, oh well, I'll have one thing that's got a bit of gluten and it won't hurt. Because if I'm doing that every day without thinking, or a few times a week, then I'm not really meeting my goals. I've added my gluten-free section, and I thought I'd do it a little bit differently than the box kind of tracker. So my plan is, if I manage to eat gluten-free that day, I'm just going to take one of my watercolour pencils and colour over the top of the day. I did manage to do it yesterday, so I'm going to just shade in the days that I managed to eat gluten-free. Hopefully by the end of the week that whole chunk will be orange. And then on the main page, I've just sectioned off the days. If I show you down here, the days were sort of lined off like this, which they were really sort of pale lines, didn't really stand out. So I decided to washi tape in proper sort of defined lines. I've left this one because this is the weekend. So I thought maybe I'd just put some general stuff about the weekend. Obviously I filled in yesterday's, which was to record the podcast, which I did, and then I had a couple of appointments with people coming to the house to do different things, and then on Sunday it's my sister's birthday, so that's the only things that I had time to fill in yesterday. I just wanted to show you how I'm thinking about using this journal, and I probably won't chat to you about this one all the time, but I might pop up a video here and there just to see how this sort of changes and progresses as I get to grips with trying to keep track of my life in this style and what things work and what things don't. On this side of the page, one of the things that I didn't particularly like, I'm going to flip you over to next week, is they have this sort of like running calendar which highlights where you are, and I don't really need that. That's not going to be of any use to me, so I'm going to probably be covering that up most weeks. So for this occasion I put some washi tape over it initially, but this peach washi tape was so pale it didn't really cover up the lettering, so I might treat myself to a whiteout pen, which would mean that some of my lighter washies would then cover up the lettering. I also, over here, they don't really specify the months, they've just got the numbers of the months, and me and numbers, well, we don't really play together very well. I can do numbers, don't get me wrong, but they don't. Looking at this, I don't immediately think November and December. So at the top of each page, I'll probably be stamping out the month, just so when I'm flicking through, I'm not sat there trying to figure out what month we're on. I know that seems really basic, but that's just how my mind works. So I found a couple of stickers to add over the washi tape. I thought the Hello one was quite apt, although these aren't particularly in with the orange theme that I'm trying to stick to. I thought Hello as the start of the journal, and then this one just says Stay Awesome, and it happened to fit into the space that was left, so that was kind of the only reason that one got picked, and it covered up the big box, so that was good. Even with the gel pens, I'm getting a fair amount of ghosting through the page, so I'm probably going to have to be careful as to what pens I use in this journal, because you know, these pages are starting to look quite pretty. When I write on this side, there's a chance that these things are going to start ghosting through to this previous page, so yeah, I probably want to steer away from being too heavy with the gel pens. I might just I've got these other fine tip liners in lots of different colours. They're Stabilo pens. So I think I'm going to have a play with writing a couple of days worth of stuff with these pens to see if they're a little bit better in terms of the ghosting. I'm going to be using this planner as a mix of personal and business stuff. It's tax season here in the UK. I have to get my self-employment tax return finished by the end of January, and I'm a little bit behind with my accounts. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to try and block myself out of time where I'm working on them for at least 1 hour at a time, rather than just here and there, to try and get them done. I tried my idea of working with the Stabilo fine point pens, and actually they're ghosting even worse than the gel pen. So there is the Stabilo and there's the gel pen, so I guess gel pens it is, and I'll just have to be mindful and maybe not do as many big block letters, perhaps get my colour pencils out for those instead. I'm using my watercolour pencils here because that's what I've got to hand on my desk, but I do have a set of ordinary pencils which I'll probably use for things like this, because there's no point wasting the watercolour pencils, although these are going to last me forever and a day, because I'm not going to be watercolouring over them. I think I'll just drag out some normal pencils to help me colour in any lettering that I do. This planner is also going to provide me a space to mess around with some lettering and stuff, which then might transfer over into my sort of big creative journal. Yeah, so far my first impressions are good. I'm a little bit disappointed with the paper in terms of so much stuff is bleeding through, but I really do like the format, so I think I'm going to be able to work around that and find sort of fixes. But I guess working on the pages over the next couple of weeks to see you know, how much transference there's going to be, and whether I like the look of it or can live with the look of it, will really determine what I think of this journal. I hope you enjoyed this brief video. Please let me know if you did, and also if you do plan or journal, what kind of things do you keep track of, make a note of in your journals? How do you use them? How do you decorate them? Do you even bother decorating them? I'd really like to know, and if you do decorate them, I would like to know what you do, because I don't want to get sort of stuck in a rut. I feel like there's going to be a lot of washi tape and stickers, which might be okay, you know, but I may get bored of those. So yeah, always looking for new ideas. So be grateful if you would like to share anything with me in the comments below. Until next time, I hope you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.